flock. Surveillance cameras are catching flack. Privacy concerns are at the forefront of this discussion after a reported 50 law enforcement officers used the technology for unauthorized purposes, including to stalk women. Now, cities and counties across the country are rejecting the use of the cameras altogether. For more, let's bring in the mayor of Knox County, Tennessee, Glenn Jacobs. Mayor Jacobs, thank you so much for being here. These are no ordinary license plate readers. They can track cars by dents or by bumper stickers. Cops in your county wanted $1 million worth until, as the New York Post writes, you, the former WWE star, chokeslammed the deal. Why?
Well, Peter, first of all, thanks for having me on. As you said, these are not your typical or conventional license plate readers. They're a lot more than that. This debate is framed about law enforcement versus and public safety versus privacy. Really, I want law enforcement to have all the tools that they need. At the same time, those tools have to be constitutional and they have to be safe. I'm sure you all saw a story just 2 days ago where a lady in Wisconsin was boxed in by police. Officers had their weapons drawn because a flock camera had flagged her car as being involved in a murder. There was another story very similar to that a few weeks ago where a family was pulled over. Again, police got out of their cars because they think it's a very dangerous situation. They thought it was a stolen car. It was not. It was an error with the flock cameras. Those are not isolated incidents. Those may be more traumatic than what we've seen otherwise, but this system is notoriously erroneous. There's a city in California, 71% of the hits were the wrong license plate. And then I believe that system, because it is a mass surveillance system, is unconstitutional as well. So we're talking about something that is not only not safe, it's unconstitutional.
And to your point, I did a Google News search just of flock cameras, and these were the first 3 results. Officer allegedly used flock license plate cameras to track boyfriend's ex-wife. 6 Savannah police employees placed on leave over possible misuse of flock cameras. And then Mooresville, North Carolina police investigating 10 cases of suspected flock camera misuse by officers. Is it just me, or is this a lot like the days of Edward Snowden, where he taught us all about these mass surveillance tools? And a big part of his point was people who work for the government will use these things to stalk exes or stalk the cute girl across the hall or others who are not police targets.
Right. As you've pointed out, we've seen dozens of cases now of rogue officers misusing this technology. And since Anthony Fauci is back in the news, can you imagine what would have happened during COVID if someone like Anthony Fauci would have had the ability to track people, to encourage local and state health departments to track people using a technology like this? It would have been a complete dystopia. So there are a lot of issues, as you say, privacy, abuse, ultimately just this warrantless mass surveillance, which is anathema to America.
There are some success stories with this, though. There was a 17-year-old last month who was killed in a hit and run in Bakersfield, California. Police say that they caught the driver in this hit and run with flock cameras. What have the police in your county told you about wanting to have tools to solve crimes like that?
Well, sure. And again, this is not about depriving them of the tools. It's about figuring out how these tools can be used in an appropriate manner that is consistent with the Constitution. And as we've seen in dozens of cases, they have been abused. This is not the last time we'll also have this debate about new technology emerging. And until it's ready to go and until there are safeguards put in place, there needs to be a nationwide pause at least put on the deployment of these flock cameras. There is no federal regulatory framework in place that governs them. The laws regarding license plate readers in Tennessee date from 2014 with one very minor update in 2021. The technology has advanced significantly since then. So we want them to have the tools they need. At the same time, those tools have to conform to the Constitution.
The folks at Flock knew that we were going to talk to you. They sent us a statement. Part of it says, data is automatically deleted after 30 days by default unless an agency establishes a different retention period. But you made a great point, Mayor Jacobs, about what somebody like Anthony Fauci might have done with this stuff if he had it 5 years ago. We will stay on top of this. Mayor Glenn Jacobs, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks again, Peter.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.